Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Let's have a look at another linked list problem. Problem number 2, add two numbers. So in this video, we're going to practice the basic linked list operations. First, I'll read through the statement and then we analyze the problem and finally share the code. First, let's look at the statement. So we are given two non-empty linked lists representing two non-negative integers. The digits are stored in reverse order, and each of their nodes contains a single digit. And what we are required to do is to add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. So we may assume that the two numbers do not contain any leading zeros, except the number 0 itself. So here are some examples. So let's look at example 1 here. So in example 1, so the first linked list is 2, 4, 3, and the second linked list is 5, 6, 4. So the numbers represented are 342 and 465. So add them together, we are going to get 807, and the corresponding linked list is 708. So that's the example we want to look at. So let's look at the additional constraints or assumptions for this problem. First, the number of nodes in each linked list is in the range 1 to 100. So the node value is in between 0 and none. And it's guaranteed that the list represents a number that does not have leading zeros. So with that said, let's look at the method we're going to do. So actually the method is very straightforward. So we just need to do the addition, but notice that the context here is linked list. So we are going to practice some basic operations in the linked list setting. So the procedure is the following. So when we look at the two linked list heads, we try to get the value from them and then do division with the remainder. So basically the division with remainder is something like this. So this is the values we are going to do division with 10. So one is from the list 1 and the other from the list 2, and the third one is the previous state of the carry, right? So because if we add, for example, if we add 7 plus 8, we get 15. So there's a carry equals with value 1. So during the process, we are going to create new list node and then do the connections. So that's the basic procedure in a high level. So with that said, let's look at the code. So actually the code is very short. So here we're going to use dummy list, just for dummy node, just for convenience. So first I'm going to initialize a dummy node, which is a list node. So I can just use this initializer because the default value is 0. So with that said, we are going to introduce a variable called current, which is the dummy. It's pointing to dummy at the very beginning. And the carry is also an important one, which is 0 at the very beginning. So next is basically a while loop to do the addition in practice. So while L1 or L2 or carry. So if carry is not 0, so sometimes we may need to create a value for this carry itself. So then the value 1 can come from, there's 3 values, so like specified here, value from the list 1 height, current height, and value from the list 2 current height, and plus previous carry state. So value 1 equals L1, let's see, L1 value if L1. Otherwise, I will let it to be 0, and then value 2 is L2 value if L2 is not null. Otherwise, we set it to be 0. Then we can do the division with remainder. So that basically this line here. So what we are going to write is the carry and the remainder is def mode. So value 1 plus value 2 plus the carry, and then divided by 10, right? So In this case, so we're going to create a node corresponding to the value r. So and then set the next of the current variable to be the node we created. That is current next to be the list node. So the value will be r. So then we are going to reset the state of the current, let it pointing to current next. And then we are going to reset the head of list 1 and list 2 respectively and possible. So we are going to set L1 to be L1 next if L1 otherwise. So we are going to set it to be null. So L2 will be L2 next if L2 otherwise we are going to set it to be null, right? So that's it for this main work. So let's maybe split it into 3 parts. So this is the preparation step. So this part is the actual work. So afterwards, we just need to return the result. So return the result. So as we introduced a dummy variable, so what we need to return is nothing but dummy next. Right. So that's the full code for this problem. So let's first do a special case check. So yeah, it passes this example 1. Now let's do a generic case check. Yeah, it passes all the generic cases. So I would say this is actually a very early problem in Leetcode, as it's actually a very basic problem. So in this video, our goal is to practice some basic operations related to linked list, like doing some numerical computations or the use of dummy node. So with that said, I guess that's all about this problem. Thank you very much.